Awesome!
All right, everybody, we are getting excited to getting started with this new season, and I am so happy to have you all here with me tonight. Hopefully, the audio is coming through well and you can hear me. If you can, just give me a little chat thumbs up.
Awesome!
I'll wait for a couple messages in chat, make sure that the audio is good and that you're coming through with high school esports up there. It's good to see we've got about 44 of you up in here ready to rock. Yep, audio is good. Thank you for the comments, and we will get rocking. So, I'm Nick Ryder, the founder and president of Esports Ohio, and I am here with a large group of people to talk to you tonight about this wonderful new season that we're having this fall year. We're super excited because whether COVID-19 or whatever it may be, the challenges that we're faced with, we rise above and we provide these opportunities for our kids to compete in esports and to gain the skills that this brings to them that is so great. And I apologize for all the maybe Chris Farleys that will pop up during this. It just means that we're getting a lot more followers and people are staying up to date. And it's a nice little thing that you can add to your program streams as well as you build a following for your communities and give your students an outlet with some media as well as competing in esports throughout your programs. But anyways, without further ado, this is a coaches meeting. We're here to give you the tools and resources you're going to need to be successful to run your programs in this strange time, whether it be in your school district buildings or remotely. So without further ado, we're going to get through some of these slides, and I'm going to introduce you to some great people tonight, and we're going to field your questions in the chat as well. Now, tonight for attendance, there will be some links throughout the presentation here where you'll be able to just type in a bit.ly link, and that link will also be posted in chat here shortly, to where we'll have a coach's questionnaire. You fill out that questionnaire and you'll get your attendance reported through that questionnaire. So our vision at Esports Ohio, why do we do what we do? We believe in a world where electronic sports are embraced as a positive educational and development change agent for students. And our mission is to empower those students by providing those educational institutions with the opportunities to compete in esports, as well as implement, maintain, and educate their students in doing so as well. So, what is our agenda for this evening? Well, it's to meet with all of you coaches and to talk about how to have a successful season. So, we're going to talk about the updates for this year, the overview and schedule, as well as the eligibility checklist that you need to make sure is done, the game info and scrimmaging procedures, as well as match procedures, and we're going to give you a couple tips for success that we've learned throughout the years. So, some differences. This fall season is going to look slightly different. There's some new remote play guidelines, and that is specific to COVID. So we've always wanted to build esports as a safe, non-toxic environment that's overseen by adults and school stakeholders. So we're basically doing that on our own accord to make sure that this is done the right way, that it's a legitimate high school activity or sport, that it's sanctioned in a way that is safe for our students to compete. Now, we realize that that's not always the case with COVID. This year, we had to pivot a little bit and open up remote play guidelines, and we think we've got a good sense of where we can keep our kids safe as well as provide remote opportunities for them. So we've made a couple changes. Here they are. Number one, if you are competing remotely, if your school hasn't opened or you can't get in the building, all coaches are still required to properly vet their students' ability to compete. So we don't want several forfeits happening where students can't get into the match, or they're playing on a hot spot that ran out of data. We want to make sure that coaches have vetted that to make sure that every week will be a success. So nobody likes a forfeit. Nobody likes to lose, by default or win by default. So make sure that you've vetted that equipment and that the internet connectivity requirements are there, that you've done a test match and that they can play. So that's very important just for the integrity of the league and the integrity of our competitions. Yeah, so if school districts are fortunate enough to be able to loan district equipment, that's cool. We're in a small rural school district myself where I can loan laptops that were made in the last 5 years so my students could compete in a game that's non-resource intensive like League of Legends. But we realize that not everyone can do that. So just make sure that your students can compete with the equipment that they have at their disposal. So, second, all coaches are required to be present and active in the Discord.
Awesome!
If you don't know what the Discord is, you need to. It is the Esports Ohio Discord. It is on our front website. There's a little logo at the front of our page that you'll be able to click on. And it will take you into the way that we communicate. We communicate everything we do through Discord, and Discord is super important to what we do at the high school level for all of our competitions. It's how our captains communicate, it's how our coaches can resolve disputes, and it's how we do all of our communication. So you have to be in Discord, and you have to be in Discord during your match times. Okay, so if your students are competing against another team, you as a coach have to be available to be contacted by having Discord open on your phone or on your computer, etc. That way, coaches can communicate with you if there's a problem with the match, or they can reach out to you if something, hopefully not is going wrong, or there's any toxicity that needs to be reported. Make sure that you're there to help diffuse and be on top of that, just like you would with remote learning. So that's very important. So make sure that you're there. We also recommend that coaches enter all matches in spectator mode when possible to ensure that those proper etiquettes and sportsmanship are upheld. If you're in Discord and you're just chatting with a student, that's one thing. But if you're actually speccing the game, you're in the game, you can see in-game chat, you can hear in-game comms, and you know exactly what's going on. So if you can do that, you have the ability to do that at home or at school, please spec the games if you're able to do that. If you don't know how to do that, you can reach out to one of our wonderful support staff on the ESO Discord, and we will help you get started with speccing games and spectating games. Each game is a little different, but every game has a spectator mode where you can get in and see what they're doing. So that's the second thing. Moving into kind of our third change this season, or requirement that we have, is that all matches are still required to begin at their normal scheduled times. So a lot of our schools are still in session, or a lot of our schools are on a hybrid session where they're in 2-3 days a week, and the school has granted them access to the esports lab or esports arena at their high school. So we're sticking to hard start times. If those teams are not present and you don't hear anything by 4:15, that is still a forfeit that needs to be logged on our website. So we're doing this to respect your time, the times of the other coaches, and honestly, it's helping everyone out. So just being mindful of people's times, the way to go. You can there's still the ability to reschedule some of your, there's still the ability to reschedule your matches if the other team agrees, and you do that reschedule 24 hours in advance of when you were supposed to play. But other than that, 4 p.m. hard start times, 4:15 automatic forfeiture. Now, towards the bottom, it can get more involved. So no shows will not be tolerated, and 2 will result in disqualification and possible future sanctions on your program's eligibility. Nobody likes to see forfeit after forfeit after forfeit. So if you have more than 2 forfeits, we will investigate that and see the standing of your program. And you may not be invited back for a season or 2 until you're ready to compete at that level. Number 4. Disconnection rules are outlined in each game's rules under the definition stoppage of play or player drop. Now, we understand that some schools are going to be playing from home. That's just the times that we're faced with. So we have specific rules in each game's rule set that will address those issues. So if someone drops from internet performance, it doesn't mean that you automatically lose the game. We have different rules for each one of those games. Make sure you get in there and check those disconnection rules. They're going to be super important this year. Number 5. Now, this was a tough one. Our board struggled with this one. They struggled a lot because a lot of us like to use live streaming as part of what we do. Live streaming is great because it promotes so much scholastic components to esports, and your students who may not be competitive in esports may want to do the production. And live streaming is great for that. But a lot of the games we play, Valorant especially, there's a huge competitive advantage if you're streaming during the match. That someone could stop in and stream snipe or see what's going on during your game in live play, and then move to a certain area of the map and win the game fairly easily. So we're trying to minimize cheating and keeping good competitive integrity. So we do have limitations in Overwatch. If you're going to stream that, it must be viewed from the spectator mode of their team only. In Valorant, there is no live streaming. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't record and still watch game footage and review and coach and learn from that. It just means you can't live spectate Valorant, and if you're in Overwatch stream, you have to be on a player view from your team. So live spectator streams in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Rocket League, Fortnite, League of Legends, and Hearthstone are also still allowed because they do not provide that overwhelming competitive advantage like Overwatch and Valorant. So that was a hot topic, but that's what we landed on as a board. I think it does the best to keep competitive integrity and still allow streaming as much as possible. Number 6, the no coaching rule during live play has been canceled for this fall season. We really want you coaches to get in and to monitor what's going on in these remote games. We do in your own programs for sure, but especially in the remote games. So that means, yes, if a coach is super knowledgeable in a game like League of Legends, that it could give you a competitive advantage a little bit. That is true, but we think the benefits outweigh the negatives in this case because we want coaches involved, whether it's in school or remotely. We want them to be part of it, and it promotes that strong coaching presence remotely. And that's really what we want. Now, this is just a trial basis. We're going to see how it goes. If we have, some crazy awesome League of Legends, coach that's leading a team that finished last season to first place this season, then we might revisit that. But we're trying it out. COVID has given us a little bit of leeway to try things up a little differently. So all of our other Esports Ohio rules and regulations apply as normal, and I will make sure that this PowerPoint is available for you at the end of this meeting as well. So, yeah. So those are the new ones. Make sure, I'm going to make note here in the bottom right corner of the screen, that you get our mandatory attendance if you have not already. bit.ly/ESOFall20, that link right there, and I will try and pop that in the chat for you too in a second. You want to make sure that you fill that coaches form out because that gets you attendance for today. Now, our next step is some updates with us. Esports Ohio is now part of the Ohio Scholastic Esports Collaborative. And what we're doing is we're doing some awesome things with some awesome partners. The PASS Foundation being one of the most exciting. They're a innovative group out of Columbus that I'm going to let Andy talk about here in a second, that we partnered with on the scholastic side of esports. They're going to help build and develop and crosswalk curriculum that's developed by NASIF and the Samueli Foundation out in California, and we're trying to align that to state standards as well as open up avenues for training teachers. And we are now combined, the Scholastic Esports Collaborative, the affiliate for Ohio, through the NASIF Foundation, the North American Scholastic Esports Federation. So, yes, here's what OhioSec looks like, and I am going to let Andy talk for a little bit about the PASS Foundation and what they're doing with esports right now.
Excellent. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, so as he said, I'm Andy Bruning. I'm the Director of Student Programming at PASS Foundation. And back in January, we, with NASEF and Esports Ohio, got together and formed the Ohio Scholastic Esports Collaborative. And so as Nick said, taking the scholastic side of esports. And so NASEF has created a series of curriculum from 9 through 12, and they've aligned it to California standards. And we have now, it is ready to go. It's up on the PASS Foundation website. That is you can go to there, or we're working on the URL changing, but anyway, the information is there for all the Ohio standards. It's been aligned. We're working on getting the middle school alignment and all of that. But to back up a little bit, past we've been around for 20 years, and we are new to esports, but we're not new to STEM. We're not new to working with students and with teachers. My role as the director of student programs is to create programs like this to deliver to students kind of in an informal setting. So after school, summer, design challenges. And so as another example, I coach FIRST robotics. So I'm very familiar with this competitive nature of programs and way to get students engaged that might not normally be engaged. So I think I'm really excited to get into the esports world. And in fact, this fall, as Nick was just saying, the fact that COVID has thrown a loop with just about everything that we're doing these days. We're not running programs at past on site, so we're going virtual, and we are with NASEF. We're actually forming. We're actually running several of the teams through. They have a Minecraft Rube Goldberg competition, so we'll be getting a whole bunch of teams started to go through that from elementary, middle, and high school. So again, just it's using esports, but putting that scholastic spin to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys have any questions later on, you can check out the Pass Foundation website or chat questions in, and Nick can direct them to me or whatever. I don't know if there's anything else, Nick, that you wanted me to cover for that. Oh, I do one other. The teacher professional development. We're working on creating professional development with NASEF, Esports Ohio, in order to create programming for teachers in order to help them be able to use esports more effectively in the classroom. Because everything you do, I mean, it has to be tied to some sort of real world, real life experience. And as Nick said, if you've got students that don't want to participate in the actual playing of the games, if it's broadcasting, if it's marketing, it's media, you can do all of those types of things through this. And now we can coach teachers or coaching teachers to be better teachers, to apply this in their classroom to help engage students, to get them more engaged and keep them rolling. So it's a lot of fun.
That's excellent. Thanks so much. I appreciate it,
Yep.
Andy.
Yep.
And we're super excited about our partnership, and we're going to continue to do great things for kids and get better every year. So between PAST and NASIF, it's going to be an exciting time. So if you haven't already, please activate your free NASIF benefits at esportsfed.org. Just click on the Ohio Scholastic Esports Collaborative. Leagues drop from it now, but that will open you up to a full load of benefits, from scholastic resources to additional competitive opportunities as well. And we'll talk about their season as well as ours too. So without further ado, let's get into the nitty gritty about the season. Weekly competition schedule, same as it was in the spring. All matches to begin by 4. We've changed a few days up, but for the most part, the days are the same. Monday will be League. We moved Fortnite to Monday as well. So League of Legends and Fortnite's on Monday. Tuesday is Overwatch. Wednesday is Rocket League and Super Smash Bros. And then Thursday is Hearthstone and Valorant. Pretty cut and dry. And you can reference those on our website as well. And here is what our fall season schedule looks like. It is a 7-week schedule with wildcard possible tournament and fall finals tournament. All of our tournaments for the fall finals, because of COVID, will be online. We have our spring schedule set up to be hosted still at the University of Akron. So hoping everything gets back to normal and we can do some more in-person events, but we'll be hosting and streaming much like this for our matches throughout the 7-week season, as well as the finals online as well. You are at the mandatory coaches meeting webinar tonight. There's also a second option tomorrow night if you didn't make it tonight, and you will be able to ask questions at the end, everything you want, or as you go. Jacob's moderating the chat for us tonight, and he will try and get you that information or get it to us if we have questions that aren't being answered. Registration deadline is Friday, That's 2 days. So if you were close, you need to get rocking because you've got 2 days left to register. 11:59, it will go closed, and then our wizard, Mr. Rackley, will get going on scheduling and locking the league in and getting those 7-week schedules out to you. Before we start the first season, the first week of competition, you will know your entire schedule, what conference you're in, who you're playing for the entire 7 weeks. We do that all manually. So we do that all manually, and Mr. Rackley is our genius on that. So eligibility checklist. If you have not seen our eligibility checklist yet, you need to. There are 5 things that you need to do to make sure that your school is eligible. Okay. Fall season requirements are: submit the Esports Ohio program application, register all of your teams for competition, have your students individually register for competition, attend this webinar like you're doing, and then next week we'll start our scrimmaging in Discord. So what does some of that look like? I'll try and pop some of that up on the screen here real quick. On our website, esportsohio.org, you just go to the competition tab and you go to 2020 fall signups. Underneath this page, this is your portal to getting everything done. It's got your remote play guidelines that we just went over. It's got the schedule underneath competition if you need to know which days they are. The program membership application is right here. This is the only paper form that we need. You fill this out, you have a school administrator sign it, and then you upload it right here into the Google form underneath of it. You submit that signed, and then your school is officially a member for the entire year. Then, your coaches, you submit a team to compete by clicking this form. Okay, submit a team to compete. In here, you should pick the game that you want. I'll put in myself as an example real quick just to make sure. Your school should auto-populate. If it doesn't, let an admin know on Discord. We'll make sure it's in here. So I'll pick carry. I'm going to compete in Overwatch, and I'm going to pick a varsity squad. Just remember, if you're going to do competitive, varsity is great. You cannot have a JV without a varsity. So if you're not going to have a varsity, then you should go into club. So the only limitation you have is you cannot pick a JV team without actually having a varsity team. And then when you're done, you can submit that, and then you will receive confirmation in your email that you've submitted a team to compete. You can submit your official logo right here if you want one change that's not the same or we're using one that's incorrect. Here's a complete walkthrough of what we did last year from start to finish. So if you have any questions, you want to revisit things, a coach's walkthrough video is complete right here. Then students only, this is where your students all sign up for their games. Okay? And once they all sign up, you will see them in the coach's master sheet. The coach's master sheet is the document that says whether you are ready to play or not. So I will try and share the coach's master sheet with you here. You can see the coach's master sheet. It's got a lot of information on it, and it can be a little overwhelming from time to time. So I want to break it down so you understand what to look for, basically. As you can see, right now we've got 150 teams submitted. We have 677 kids that are submitted. So what I like to do is I like to use these different tabs that are at the bottom. Program paperwork. The only form you're going to need tonight or the entire season is to have your program form. That's what you signed and uploaded to me through that Google form. And then once you attend this coach's meeting, I will manually mark you complete. And then your paperwork is complete. Those are the only 2 things you need to do as a coach. Now, it goes into teams and rosters. So, if you are good to go, you will populate in rosters completed. If your name is not in rosters completed for a team, it means there is something wrong. Now, how do you find out what is wrong? You can go into your players. You can see, hey, I'm missing some of my players. And you can also go back to the main league readiness tab, and you can see, hey, am I green or am I red? And if I'm red, why am I red? So say I'm Barberton and I only have 4 players registered for Overwatch. That means only 4 of your players have registered. And in order to have an Overwatch team, you have to have 6 players. So if you're a coach and you need to troubleshoot that, you can go to your Overwatch players tab and see which ones of your players have registered. And then you'll know, hey, these 2 players haven't registered. I need to get on them right away or else they're going to miss out because they're red. So what you need to do is you need to make sure you have the form filled out, that you've got a team, and then you need to come into the league readiness tab right here, scroll over, look at the different teams, and make sure that you are green across the board. When you're green across the board, you will see rosters complete, and you will auto-populate into the correct team. So it is confusing, but that is a lot. Coach Rackley, myself, and the ESO board is here to help you with that. If for some reason you are not in rosters complete and you think you should be, please check the league readiness tab to make sure your numbers are right, and then check the players tabs to see which players you're missing. 90% of the problems can be solved by that for the sign-up process. And now I want to ask Coach Rackley, I just want to make sure that I am not forgetting anything on the master sheet.
That sounds good. Everything looks good. I already got someone in the chat right now we're working with. There might be a small hiccup, and we'll get that fixed as possible. The big thing to keep in mind, okay, Google Sheets that we're using should automatically update, and within a couple of seconds, it should get it done. If it doesn't get it done within 13 minutes, because that's the long refresh rate, please let us know so we can get it fixed. We got a coach right now that's in Discord, and we're working with that coach. I see that they have the paperwork in here. I don't see why it's not translating, so we'll get that fixed ASAP. So thanks, guys.
And thank you. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all your hard work. Everybody thank Rackley because he does all the behind the scenes sheets guru work and scheduling, and he's a mastermind. He does a great job. So fantastic. All right, without further ado, we're going to get back into it. And I'm going to pick up where we left off here. Make sure the eligibility checklist is good, and then coaches and captains need to be in Discord. When you build out your program, you'll find, if you haven't already, that coaches and captains are the biggest 2 components of an esports program. Your captains, choose wisely. They are your leaders of your teams, and they are the people who communicate and do all of your match scheduling for you. So the scheduling will be done, but they reach out to the other captain of the other team using our Discord communication server, and they make sure that character selection and map banning are done properly and prior to match communicate or to the actual match execution. So captains are very important. They have to be in Discord. They have to be tagged in our captain verification sheet, and we will make sure that they're in there. We've been having the little snafus with our captain verification sheet. If you have problems doing that, just make sure in the master sheet you can check your players and make sure that they have selected that they are captain. And one thing to point out is that if a student submitted a form and they did not choose the correct captain checkbox, they can go back in and edit that form as long as they are logged in with their Google account. So Discord, it's key. Scrimmage procedures, this will start next week. Make sure that you have access in Discord from all the Get Rolls channels and reach out to schools in the scrims channels for the specific games that you want to scrim. We do not schedule your scrimmages for you. The scrimmages are done at will to whoever you may want to play. We have over 100 schools in our Discord that have teams, some that are competing and some that are not this fall due to COVID, but many are ready to scrim. So feel free to reach out to get a game. We highly recommend that you scrimmage this week. It is not required if you're 100% sure you're ready to go, but scrimmages do not need to be reported, the results, but we do want to make sure that your gear works. We do want to make sure your students know the rules of the games, and we want to make sure your students can compete without any firewall issues, without any internet connectivity issues, and we want to make sure that everyone is ready for a great week 1. And that leads us to our match procedures. Our match procedures are very much the same. Every level of game play is expected to begin by 4. Always seek out your opponent on Discord. See who your match for the week is with. That will be a responsibility you dish out to your captains. Communicate with them to solidify that start time and make sure that they are on. I recommend doing that a couple hours before match time and a day before as well to make sure that everything is good. There's nothing worse than showing up, getting everybody down in their seats for an update, to update Rocket League that had a 2 gig update the other day, and then, nobody shows. You had everything, all your ducks in a row. We want to avoid no-shows as much as possible and forfeits. We want to avoid it, and we want it to be your goal to avoid it in your program as well. Always plan to be 15 and 20 minutes early, and always report any disputes or issues that happen. We ask coaches for your help. We are a volunteer staff that does this because we're crazy and we love esports. We love to create these opportunities for kids. So we ask coaches to try and work out any match disputes between themselves and Discord before bringing it to an ESO staff member. We understand toxicity needs to be reported, and any misuse or inappropriate behavior needs to be reported so we can handle it. But small match disputes and gameplay, please try and resolve that self-amicably between the 2 coaches. Number 4, huge, winning team only submits the match results. So if you lose, you do not have to submit. It's just the winning team. The only event where a losing team would submit match results is if there is a dispute that needs to be disputed. So then you can report. Otherwise, the winning team is the only team that submits. Coaches can submit stats by Sunday of that week played as well. Coach Rackley is working on some stat sheets as well to go with some of this if you'd like to track stats as a coach. A new thing we're doing for remote play. We are going to try and do play of the week submissions. Super awesome. We want to stream more. We want to get more out there. We want to celebrate your accomplishments as teams. So underneath the log results of a match page, we also have submit a play of the week footage. And sorry about the font there. That's kind of gross. All you will do is submit a video file of any play or awesome moment that happened that week in a video file format that is less than 100 meg. That is the only limitation we have on the Google Form upload. Then ESO staff will put that video footage together, and we will do a stream, hopefully weekly, on awesome highlights that we see every week. And then our winners will receive ESO prizing, and we will give them shout outs on social media and celebrate the awesome plays that we see every week. So somebody asked, what exactly do I submit as results? That's an excellent question. That is actually on our website as well. I will show you that very quickly. To submit your results, you're just going to go to competition and report results. Boom. There's an each game submission form right here. You'll click on one, it'll take you to a form when the games go live, and it will be a simple Google form that auto-populates our leaderboard. So that is how you will submit your results. Thanks for your question. Very good. Okay, so tips for success. We've gotten through a lot of this quickly, and we're going to keep piling through. Now, just like in any other, sport, traditional athletics, it's hard to share athletes. So if you're trying to squeeze in Rocket League practice between football and weightlifting, it's probably not going to happen. Our start times are 4 p.m. So make sure your students are committed to your program before signing them up to a match or whatnot. Make sure your students keep your esports computers updated. There are big updates that come out weekly for a lot of these games. Make sure that you have them ready to go before match time. There's nothing worse than getting down and ready for a match at 3:45 and you have a 3 gig update for League of Legends, and you have to wait 30 minutes before you can start the game. Be on top of that. Make a schedule with your players or your IT staff to keep those updated. And with your IT staff, make good friends with them. You're going to need them to test your filter to make sure it's ready to go in all games, make sure it's open in your firewall, and ready to rock. You're also going to need to always have a sub in each game to anticipate student illness and no-shows. I like to have at least 2 subs for each one of my varsity rosters, as well as any roster, to make sure that, we understand life happens. You got to do something. Something comes up, you get ill, you want to have a backup. And with our new substitution rule, you can sub your subs in between games, and they can get chair time too, whether they're a sub or on the full-time roster. I also recommend printing out a copy of the rules for each one of your players. They're available on our website, and make sure they know the proper match procedures thoroughly. If they don't know the rules and another team does, and they start trying to do character selection and map banning, and the other team doesn't know what's going on, it's going to be a struggle. So make sure your team is aware of what to do. And remember, the only winning team posts the match results. We cover that. And identify those captains and make sure they take that leadership role. Your captains are pivotal. And then stream your matches to Twitch so you can later review that footage to improve, just like Twitch that we're on right now. Make yourself your own program Twitch channel. Do your streams. And, for Valorant and Overwatch, although they have to be delayed, you could post them, later, an hour after the match or something like that. It can still be used. You can still record, as long as you're not live streaming, in a public way that could be used to give a competitive advantage. Tips for success. Make sure your students have accounts and game licenses for the games they wish to compete in. The only 2 games that we play that cost money besides Super Smash Bros., which is a console game, are Overwatch, which is currently $20, and Rocket League, which is also $20. If you compete in the NASIF tournaments that are coming up, they provide those game licenses for you. If you do not, we equate this to, a very cheap version of buying basketball shoes when you're in basketball. If you're competing in Overwatch, you're going to need an Overwatch license. So that is to be purchased by the student rather than the school district, because the student can use that license to continue building their XP on their personal account that can be taken with them, as well as practice at home. As where school licenses are tied to individual email addresses, and the licensing is tough because they don't have bulk licensing readily available for school districts. So for those reasons, we recommend student licenses.
And Rocket League will be going free to play shortly as well, which will help with that cost as well.
That's true. We're hoping that drops sooner rather than later. It's been announced for summer, and we're still waiting, so hopefully soon. School licenses, if you want to have some licenses to do tryouts and open lab, those are some ways around here. Best Buy, you can purchase with a PO if you need to do it that way. And involve your students. Always have them be the people that run your OBS and Twitch feeds. There is so much that they can do with esports. It's just as much as you let them, they will do.
Awesome!
So, these are your expectations as coaches. We've covered a lot. Attend this meeting. You've done it. Help all players sign up in the Google Forms. Make sure that you have your team set before they sign up in those forms. So get your team set, your rosters going, and then walk them through making sure they get in those forms. Collect all that paperwork and necessary for a team. We're a little easier this season as we didn't have student forms because we have no live in-person event for this season. So we've eliminated that to just a program form. And now make sure you're always active and available on the Discord server, and be an advocate for esports, Esports Ohio, and your program in your district. Be that, educational person to talk nice and build this program for your kids. And always promote non-toxic behavior. We know that gaming is toxic. It is by trade. A lot of these games you get into some ugly environments. We want to make sure that our programs find that is not acceptable. We want to do this the right way. We want to build legitimate esports, good opportunities, safe environments for our kids, so we can make the next generation of gamer even better. So always resolve those toxic issues in your program in a constructive way. and participate in the postseason exit survey and know how to navigate the master coaches sheet. That's what we kind of talked about earlier. So Coach Rackley is in need of help, and so are we as ESO. We're helping. We need help onboarding schools. We need committee members. We're looking for ruling people. So if you are interested in helping out in any way, shape, or form, fashion, and you are a coach that's passionate, please DM Rackley in Discord, and he will get back to you and put you to work to create these opportunities for the students the best we can. Just a little info on NASIF's tournaments. This year they're doing two, one in Overwatch and one in Rocket League. They play on different days of the week than we do our matches. So check them out. And if you want to get some more double play for your teams, all their tournaments are free as well. I'm going to sift through these and you can look into them more afterwards. Just go to esportsfed.org and you can sign up and get all of those, all that information through them as well. So I'm going to sift through our games. We know our games for the most part. You've already got your teams. League of Legends, Rocket League, Overwatch, Super Smash Bros., Fortnite, Hearthstone, and then the new one this year is Valorant. It is a new game by Epic Games. It's a first-person shooter style game. It's played in teams of 5, and it's a best of 1. And it is a teen-rated game. It's free to play, and it is PC only. So if you're interested in any additional games, this one is becoming wildly popular. And I'm going to leave you with some arena examples here. Your esports arena or setup does not have to be fancy, but it can be. So we're just going to show you a couple pictures of some setups from across the state that we've seen last year. They come in all shapes and sizes and budgets, and there is no one size fits all. It's a great thing about esports. So without further ado, I want to talk a little bit about our partners. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We have a completely volunteer staff. No one gets paid for anything that we do. We do this because we love it and we want to create these opportunities. And we're able to do that through our sponsors, our very generous sponsors. So this year's fall season is premier sponsor is the United States Army, the Cleveland Recruiting Battalion. And I have a representative from the Army here to talk a little bit and to let you know of their involvement with Esports Ohio.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, hello everyone. My name is Staff Sergeant Muniz. I'm with the Cleveland Recruiting Battalion. We cover completely Northeast Ohio. And we have recruits, so we have Army representative in every single high school. Ways that we can help you with coaches. If you ever, you need somebody to cover down while you're doing something that, you can't do, we are allowed to, give you and help you with coaching. Also, advertising. If you need us, to sponsor your stream or your team, your game, you can provide us with some advertising space on your esports arena. If you have your esports arena, you can let us know. We can have an Army banner in there, something of that sort, and we can help you with advertising. The Army started the esports about a year and a half. It's just a different way to approach the different community. Most of our Army members, most of them they're gamers. I'm a gamer. I play Apex Legends. I play Fortnite, and I play a bunch of other games. So they started this as a way to be able to contact and connect with all the different ages and all that. That's all I have. If you have anything else for me, Nick, that's it.
No, that's great. Thanks, Ken. And I will get your contact info out to folks if they need to get a hold of you. Yep. I'll make sure they can do that. Awesome. Yeah, the coaching and advertising, that sounds awesome. So I appreciate your help, appreciate your sponsorship, and everyone thanks you for your service. So thank you.
Thanks for the support. Thank you.
Along with the United States Army, we also have Aries Sportswear, and they are our official apparel provider. They make amazing gear for amazing prices, and they are doing some awesome stuff for us. So I will let one of their representatives speak to you about some of their esports offerings.
Thanks, Nick. I'm Mike Campbell from Aries Sportswear. Thanks for having me. Couple things about Aries Sportswear. We have a relationship statewide with a couple of different athletic organizations. I am very excited for this one. This is new and unique to me, and it's very cool to see this coming about. Our company is we're a screen print and embroidery company. We're local to Ohio because we're in Columbus, so we're very regional. It's a white glove touch at our place. Tonya, who is also on the call, is going to be here for all the teams in the league. But if you come to us, and that's an if, we're not looking to knock the guy down the street out of business by any means. We're looking to augment them with quick service, good deals on uniforms, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and spirit wear. But if you come to us, we're going to be the white glove service. We're gonna hook you up with an account manager. The account manager is going to help you on turn time. They're going to help you on budget. If you're trying to source a unique product and you're having a little trouble finding it, they're going to help you with that. If something goes weird, they're going to help you with that. They're dedicated to you, so they're like your inside person. Can we go ahead and move on to the next page? Okay. This is our basic, and I will have Tonya send this to you guys after the meeting. This is a basic uniform offering, so it's a good, better, best at this point. Lots of other things we can do, but we're trying to give you something streamlined to make decisions off of. Next page, please. And then additionally, something that I'm very excited about is we are looking to challenge the league this year. And for merchandise stores, those are the online spiritware stores you'd set up where nobody has to buy anything, but you merchandise the product, which we'll help you with. You get it on an online store, and then you invite the families and your players to go shop the store. They buy it themselves. They pay it for themselves. We process the order. We ship the order directly to their household. We would handle any customer service issues ourselves, and you can build it as a fundraiser, which simply means if you want to add cost to the product and have something left for the team for one reason or another, you can do that. We want to challenge the league in that if we can get 40 stores created this year, we're going to pay for 2 scholarships. We'll work with you guys in choosing the way the scholarships are going to be applied, who's going to get them, who has access to them. But I would really like to see this happen. I'd like to be able to have our name on a couple of scholarships.
That is super awesome. Thank you. We're so excited about the partnership as well. The ESO board has been fine-tuning our store. We'll open one up too because we need some swag and some merch. It's been asked for, so we'll get some t-shirts out there, and we want to do some prizing with Airs apparel as well for a lot of our tournaments and stuff this year. So we appreciate your efforts. The fundraising store idea is so great. It works so seamlessly, and your pricing and quality is it's awesome. We've shopped around and we appreciate it. So thank you.
Well, thank you. You guys have a great night.
We also have an awesome advertising partner with the Ohio Army National Guard. We've been working with them, since the beginning of Esports Ohio, as well as the Army. So we have a representative from the Ohio Army National Guard as well to talk to you about what they can offer and the opportunities they can provide in esports.
Hey, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
All right. Hey, I'm Sergeant First Class Mueller, just the marketing director for the state of Ohio for the Ohio Army National Guard. And I'll be honest, we're really excited about this. This is something totally new for us that we have not dabbled in too much. Right now, on the national level, we're getting involved in quite a few different things. We have our own Twitch page, Army National Guard Esports League, where we're going to have states competing against one another. But as we roll into this year with you guys, I think it's, we're looking at, where we can help you and do advertising. And I think it's going to be something that we just need to work back and forth with. Because like I said, this is new to us, but we have a lot of guys, or a lot of our recruiters, or a lot of our soldiers are gamers. We have one of our guys from the state of Ohio is on the national team. And so for us, that's going to be the biggest thing, and we can provide stuff if you need signage, banners, anything like that. We have that can all be made in house. But the coolest thing for us is we're excited about it because all of our soldiers are here in Ohio, and these are so it's the Ohio Guard getting to actually spend time and spend advertising money or and help you guys advertise the Guard to our individuals that live in the state, and spread our message as well as helping you guys out, as we move forward. But like I said, it's very new to us. I know we've worked on this over the summer. Diane Farrow's been the point of contact, but please reach out to either of us if there's anything you need. And as we continue to get this thing developed here, rolling into the school year, I'm excited to see where it can go. Thanks.
Thank you so much for letting me know that it was muted. Our Zoom meeting attendees knew that it wasn't, but apparently you guys didn't. That darn mute button, it got me. We were doing so well. Anyways, I want to thank all of our partners again. We can't do what we do without them. They're so integral to our mission of a volunteer board and getting prizing paid for, advertising dollars, back-end development, website design, maintenance, marketing materials. So super appreciate it. And hopefully we can build and do amazing things together. Now you can see my ugly mug there. I'm Nick Ryder. I'm the president of Esports Ohio. We founded this about 2.5 school years ago, getting things around. All of us have been in since the ground level of our advisory council and board members. Nick Rackley, Jeff Carana. I'm going to see who we've got here. Nick, if you want to say hi.
Hey ho, everybody. Good to be here.
Nick is our co-vice president, and he runs a lot of the development for the back end of league scheduling management, as well as the rule sets, and pretty much jack of all trades. Jeff Carana, he is our event manager and tournament organizer. He is actually, I don't know if he's here. Jeff, are you here? I know he had a meeting with his kids tonight to solidify some of his staff or some of his rostering. So
I am here. You got me?
You are. I've got you.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming by tonight. And yeah, as he said, I try to handle as much of the events as we can, although we don't really know what that looks like currently because of COVID, but we hope to start those back up soon.
Thanks for all you do, Jeff. We also have Jacob Gevers. He is our secretary and treasurer. He's filling 2 roles right now, and he is the man with the plan. So, Jake.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. Looking forward to this season and getting back to some esports again. Obviously missed it in the spring, so excited to get back and playing again. So good luck to everybody, and if you have any questions, feel free to always reach out.
Nice. Thank you, Jacob. And Jacob's been monitoring our Twitch feed pretty great tonight, so if you have any questions, drop them in there and he'll get them answered. And then we've got Shaylin Kalick. Shaylin is our collegiate esport advisor and the head of Tiffin University Esports.
Hello, everyone. I just want to thank you once again for joining us tonight. I've been in contact with quite a few people from Esports Ohio through the Discord, but hopefully I'll be in touch with some of you soon. I'd like to get a little more involved with some of your practices, speak with some of your students, and then I'm always available if you have questions regarding anything in any of the games, coaching questions, or any of that. And if it's allowed, I would love to come visit some of your guys' practices.
Thanks so much, Jalen. Thanks for all you do for our program as well. Jake Schaff is our business advisor. I don't believe he's with us this evening, but he does a lot of our Discord server management and works with our student moderators on providing a non-toxic environment, and he does a great job for us as well. So here's our board members, and here is their contact information. Once again, I'll shoot this presentation out afterwards. You can directly contact us through Discord is the best way. We kind of separate all of our esports communication traffic to our server so it doesn't get mixed in with everyday school like everyone else. So if you keep your Discord communications separate in there, that is great. Appreciate that. Once again, to get credit for the attendance, make sure you fill out that form down here in the bottom right. It's a bit.ly link. It's just a Google form, and it will automatically connect or collect your email address, and you will get credit for being here tonight. So upcoming events, we will be weekly broadcasting a lot of the league events this year. We will be having our fall online final streamed live via Twitch. We're going to work with some of our partners, hopefully from the Ohio Army National Guard, the United States Army, to come in and help do some of our streaming with us as well to cover some of this from their teams. And we are looking at still doing our in-person spring finals at the University of Akron's Esports Arena, backed by our sponsors. So our resources and getting started guide, all available in this, all available on our website. Stay up to date, make sure you're on our Discord, make sure you have visited our website, and make sure you're following us on social media. We do a lot of our communication through Twitter is our main, and Facebook as well. And make sure you join our mailing list if you are not on there. So somebody has a coach's master sheet question. Go ahead and pop into the coaches only channel in Discord, and we have a password protection on that to keep our student data private. Frequently asked questions, I'll let you look through some of those. These are for more of new coaches that have questions like this. Rackley, myself, and several other board members will hang around in the coach's voice channel of Discord afterwards, and we will field all of those questions one by one. If you're too scared to type it in chat or you want to have an individual conversation afterwards, we are available in Discord. Go ahead and just shoot us an email, look at the top of our server, look at league committee, send a message to anyone in that league committee in the top of Discord, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. What's that look like? Here's our Discord server. When you log in the top right, Esports Ohio, you will see league committee folks at the top. Send a message to any one of us and we'll get there, and all of our communication for coaches directly is in the coaches only channel, where you can ask whatever question you may be, and then if you click on the coaches voice channel, it takes you in, and that's where we will be after the meeting to ask us any questions you want. So some other questions that we have that pop up, we'll kind of sift through these. And what we're going to do now is we are going to open this up for questions. And I'm going to thank you, everyone, for your attendance tonight. Make sure that you get that link again. Jacob put it in the attendance as well. And we want to make sure that everyone has a great season, whether they're playing remotely, whether at their school district. We want everyone to have the best season possible. So thank you, everyone, so much for attending. I will be fielding questions in the chat for a couple more minutes, and we will be answering those on stream here, and then we will shift our discussion over to the coach's voice channel only. So I know this is a lot to take in. It always is. If you need more, you want to hear it again, we're doing the same thing, same time tomorrow night. Out of convenience for our coaches, we know your schedules are busy, and we want to have that live interaction with you so you can ask questions and we can answer them. So I'm going to look at the chat from Jacob for the next couple of minutes, and then we will get ready to call it a night soon.
And as always, too, all of this will be a VOD on Twitch as well, so you can always look back on it there.
You got it. All right. If there's not any, wow, we must have killed it. We must have a bunch of seasoned veterans on the call tonight, so that's a good thing. Well, I appreciate everything you guys do too. Thank you for making it happen. You know, we do some of the behind the scenes stuff to make this opportunity happen, but you guys are the real people in the schools, working with the kids, creating these opportunities, making them possible. And we thank you. We thank you for making esports real for students and giving these opportunities for students who may not have something to finally have something to be part of at school. That's what it's all about. So a couple questions are coming in. Are we able to have them compete at home? This season, yes, you may, as long as you are under direct supervision of a coach. So you may do that. I will show you real quick. The full details of that are on our website underneath competition. And then 2020 fall signups right at the top. Remote play guidelines right there, giant. Go through here and it will cover everything we kind of just covered about how you can compete remotely. Coach McClellan also asked, how did you recruit to gain interest? I'm going to open that up to the board. Anybody want to share tactics on how they might have recruited to gain interest for their programs?
So, like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about, like, we're gonna start a brand new club? We're gonna like pull a game out? Like, what's the real big thing there? Because if we're starting like brand new, the big thing I always try and do, you know, is you just have figure out what you can field, what kind of resources you have, and then go with that. I mean, if all you have is a couple of systems, maybe a Nintendo Switch, maybe a PS4 or something of that nature, a couple of machines, then you need to be making sense of like how much you're going to be able to really put together. When I got started, we were playing with a bunch of Frankenstein machines, and I had 6 of them, so I could field one Overwatch team. Now we have a lab that we can use, and I can field up to 24 machines going simultaneously. But I'm only one coach, and I know I don't want to do that. So I tend to try and keep things below around 15 kids. If I had an assistant, which I do have a partial assistant this year, we could probably get a little bit bigger. So then I definitely just, what I do then is just put out feelers. I'll post something that says, you know, like, let's have an open play. You know, and this week we're going to play open play League of Legends. We'll see who shows up. You could even, if you don't want to start with open play, you can send out a form or like a survey and just be like, what games do you like to play? You know, out of the 6 that are right here, and see what your general gist is there. And then look at who you can get to do time commitment, because it is a time commitment. Some, like when we first started, I would have kids that would try and do 2 or 3 things, and they slowly realized that they do like playing video games and they're not committed to this. So that kind of hurt some of my teams very early on. So just make sure that you can kind of figure out that time commitment. But also, just in general, I mean, talk to your kids. I mean, you have an idea of what kids would want to come play, and see what they give them a list and say, okay, here are the things we can compete in. What do you think would be a good thing to compete in? And maybe, you know, you only do club this year. You could do club in the fall. You see if they're really committed. And then in the spring, you've got a solid, you know, 6 players, and that's when you kick them all up to varsity, and like it's time to go chase state. There's a lot of different stuff like that. If you ever get stuck, give us a ping in Discord.
Great job, Coach. Thanks for your insight. Always appreciate it. So it looks like a lot of our chat is closing up. So our Zoom crew, we will debrief. Thank you, everyone. We will be in the Coaches Only Voice, or the Coaches Voice channel after this. And yeah, thanks for all your questions. Thanks for being part of Esports Ohio. And thanks for all the opportunities you create for students. We'll see you soon. Until then, game on.
Take it easy, everyone.